So for stranded knitting, you can hold the yarn either both in one hand, one in each hand, or you don't have to hold them both at the same time at all. You can just pick them up as you need them. So let's start with that. If you're picking them up as you need them, my next one stitch I need to work is in the contrast colour, in the orange here. So the contrast colour would normally run underneath the background colour. So I'm picking that up from underneath the background colour there. Work my stitch, spread out my stitches, and so here now the background colour wants to come above. Get that out of the way, and then work 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3 with that. Now I'm going to swap again, and so the contrast colour wants to come again up from underneath, so I just drop the other one, knit that stitch. So it takes a bit of time, all the lifting and dropping. So if you want to, you can actually hold both yarns in your hand at the same time. I tend to do that by, this is how I would hold my yarn if I'm just holding it normally in my right hand. So I will wrap the one yarn around my little finger as normal, and then I use another finger to wrap the other yarn, and then I've got both coming across my forefinger. So however you hold it, you would just find some way to hold them both, that they don't interfere with each other too much. So what have I got now? 3 background colours. So the background colour is to come across, so I just drop the contrast colour, knit my 3, 1, 2, 3. Then I want to pick up the contrast colour, and I want to pick it up from below. So I'm going to take that contrast colour below, pick that one up, drop it, pick up the background colour over the top, do my 3, and then the contrast is going to come underneath, pick that one up, do the 1. So what you can do as an alternative to that is have one colour coming off one finger and then the other colour coming off another finger. I find it a bit annoying, but I know some people get on really well like this. So here I would do the 1, 2, 3 in the contrast, sorry, in the background, and then the contrast colour would then come forward on the other finger, and then I'm back to the background, 1, 2, 3, and contrast coming forward on the other finger. So that's a possibility. You can have 2 yarns in your left hand, and for here I would put the background colour, this is my normal way to wrap, then for the contrast colour I would do like an E cast on, I do it a backwards loop basically, and put that on my finger in that direction, and then I come forward round the other way and put that on my little finger, so that just stops it immediately coming off. And here it means that you've got a gap between the 2 different colours, so you can use a I don't know what you call them, but anyway, you can get like a thing you put on your finger that separates the 2 yarns for you, but this works for me, doing it like this. So now I'm going to just pick the yarn that I want. So again, you have to be careful. I want the contrast colour to be on the bottom, so I'm going to pick the background colour from the top, Do 3 of those. And then I'm going to go underneath that and pick the contrast colour from the bottom. Now I'm going back to background, so I'm picking that from the top. 1, 2, 3. Again, switching to contrast, pick that from the bottom. So there is a little technique for making the stitches when you're doing like this. If you're not used to making your stitches in this way, then you'll come through and you've got to kind of lasso the yarn around the needle and take the needle far enough over to the right hand side that it doesn't fall off as you come down to make the stitch. Because if you can't, if you just try and pull from there, it's not going to work. So you've got to lasso it over and pull it down. Okay, so that's 2 in your left hand. You don't have to hold the yarns like I held them there. There's different ways that people hold the yarns. That's the way I do it. Or you can have 1 yarn in each hand. So if you have 1 yarn in each hand, then you want the contrast color to be on the left. So I'm gonna hold the yarn like that on the left with the contrast, and here's the background color, which I'm holding in my right hand. So now I'm just going to scoop up a stitch in the contrast color from the left, and then 1, 2, 3 with the right hand, and then scoop 1 from the left, 1, 2, yeah, I could knit, 2, 3 with my right hand, and then just continue like that.